So, Rabotai, welcome to our Monday night shiur. Thank you guys for joining us to hear words of the Torah. Today, because we're in a bit of a smaller crowd, we want to give a shout out to our friends down under in Panama. Hope you guys are still learning Torah over there. Shiur kavua asul lefasfes. Wow, and the guy who just made up for everybody just walked in. And they said the Ari HaKadosh once told Rav Chaim Vital, he said to him, we mentioned Yichudim last week in our shiur, that there is something higher than Limud Torah called Yichudim, meditations, connections of Hashem's names. And we're going to try to teach one of them today, not a Yichud, but a Kavanah of Limud Torah for Zocher. And he said, the problem is when a person does something bekeva, he does something constantly, what is he basically doing? He's habitually bringing down shefa. Every mitzvah that we do is a aliyat man. We're bringing up something in the Olomot Elyonim, and we're bringing something down betmura, because everything that goes up must bring something down. Man umad, right? So because of that, when a person stops doing such a thing, he takes a break. He stops his shiur kavua. As the Gemara says, when a person who usually comes to shul a certain time, suddenly he stops coming one day, the Gemara says, Ke'ilu, like Hashem asked, where is he? Why didn't he come today? What's the secret to the Gemara? And by Yichudim, if a person stops doing it suddenly, HaKadosh Baruch Hu asks, what's going on with this guy? How come he's not showing up? How come he's not doing his job in this world? And Chas v'shalom, that could cause a backlash. It could cause a wake up, Chas v'shalom, klipot could catch him, and he could go really down B'Kedusha. That's what Rav Nachman ben Breslev said in the Likutei Moharan. It was one of my favorite Torah over there. He said, first serve Hashem and do tshuva later. Don't wait to be perfect to serve Hashem. Serve Hashem now. Do it now. Later on in the day, do teshuvah. When you're already up. Don't wait till you're totally clean and then serve HaKadosh Baruch Hu, because then you're never going to be clean and you're never going to start. Like a person says, listen, I already messed up today. I had a bad machshavot. I didn't pray shacharit. I didn't do this mitzvah. I didn't do that mitzvah. Okay, whatever. I'm already going to waste my day. Tomorrow I'll start fresh. The next day starts. Again he falls. Again, tomorrow. Okay, you know what? This week I messed up. I'll wait till next Sunday. Sunday he messes up. No, I'll wait till next Rosh Chodesh. Rosh Chodesh he messes up. No, I'll wait till Rosh Hashanah. Rosh Hashanah comes, he gets upset. Because no, I'll wait till next Rosh Hashanah. And like this his life goes and everything. And he never starts and does anything in his life. So therefore the Chachmei Chasidut, and it's really Ari HaKadosh, he says over there, don't wait. Start now, do later. Rabbi Mordechai Sharabi, of Tzion Bracha, who we named our shul after him, L'Shem, he said, and back in the days when they used to teach the Ari HaKadosh, Sod, Kaf HaChaim, all these big Sidur HaRashash, I'm holding here a Sifrei HaRashash over here, wow. Back in the day, when they used to teach this, they used to teach it after midnight on Shabbat, only. Because Chas v'shalom, if you would teach it to the wrong person at the wrong time, there could be a achizah and the klipa. Chas v'shalom, Yetzer Hara could wake up inside of him, he could do averot. So he has to be totally clean. That was back in the day. Today, it's a mitzvah to advertise and to teach and to spread this Torah. Why is that? I was talking about it with my wife today. After something happened in my class, I teach in the yeshiva. So I was teaching, it's midterm time. So one of the kids comes to me and he says, Rabbi, can I use Chat GPT? What's Chat GPT? I never heard of that. AI, artificial intelligence. What about Bard? Google is coming out with its own GPT. It's called Bard. What is this? What is this thing? The certain companies came up with it's free, totally free. You don't have to do anything, learn anything, know anything. This, I don't know what this is even. It uses all the information in the web to come up with the best answer to your question.
Amazing.
It's something that's, if this is not the 49th level of Tum'ah, then I don't know what is. This has to be the last, like when they came up with the iPhone 14, like once they got to 10, 11, you're like, this is already achlot. They can't come up with anything new, a better camera. They came up with the best phone already. There's nothing more left. A thinner phone and a bigger... that's it, they're done. Mitzinu, as they say in here. They came up with the end. And then they come up with this thing. It's literally, they're calling it artificial intelligence. It's mamish like a robot, yeah. And it has reasoning. They're saying that it has so much information that they're afraid that it could come up with like a logic. Because what's logic already? Coming up, we have so much information that you have a reason to pick a better answer versus another. So basically, you don't have to know anything anymore. You want to know something? Boom. How do you do this? Comes with you don't have to decide anymore. You don't have to do anything anymore. That means information is totally dead. I'm in class today. I'm very old school in class. I write a lot on the board. A lot. My best professors in college were professors that wrote on the board. Because they actually do some effort, not the ones who just give slides. Slides. I study and go jump off a cliff. So I like to write on the board. So one of the kids tells me, says, Rabbi, I can't type. I can't write. So why? What happened? My wrist hurts. So what do you want to do? Can I please get a iPad from the office so I can type everything? I joke around with him. I let him type. I said to myself, wow, Yawaradi, people don't want to write anymore. They stopped using the hand. They stopped knowing how to spell. Everything is short spelled, this, that. The brain doesn't need to be used. Who knows in 10 years, in 5 years, if Mashiach doesn't come, where's our brain going to be? Everything is just spit, ask information, spit back information. And we don't need to know anything. Understand? And that's without the crazy tests of our generation with legalizing drugs and whatever else is going to be legalized very soon. And it's unbelievable. I'm in class today. One kid passes me and I'm like, something is not kosher over here. I said to him, a good kid. By the way, Rav Chaim Kanevsky said you could say besamim. But he said you could say a bracha of besamim. It's a plant. Listen, it's a bad one. But as a bad effect. You're right, cause and effect over here. But I said, what happened? Good kid. You understand? And the kid comes inside class, and you stand by the bus stop, you smell it. You go home, you smell it. Go to the city, it's there. Everyone's there. Everywhere. Everyone just wants to be light. I also want to be chilled. Chill. It's like a person, I give you a job. Lemashal. I give you a job. I say, Gabriel, your job is take a pen, take a piece of paper, and I'm going to pay you a lot of money for it. $50, $100 an hour. Just make circles. Just make circles all day? Just make circles all day, I'm telling you. How long? In a week, I'm going to let you know. Week comes, you get a nice paycheck, you're like, I'm not going to ask him why I'm making circles. $10,000 for making circles every single day, for every day. And you're making millions of papers of circles. And you make little circles. And suddenly you get creative. You make circles within circles, and you start making spirals. And then the next week. After 5 months, you're like, listen, what am I wasting my time over here? I'm making a lot of money, but I keep on going in circles. That's our life, by the way. It's just a circle. We make money to spend it and get pleasure, to make money again and make pleasure, and have money again to make pleasure. And we don't ask ourselves somewhere in the middle of the circle, what am I doing here? What's the purpose of the circle? Igulim. Remember we learned Etz HaChaim, Olamot HaIgulim, and Hashem says, wait, add the Yosher, add the Kav. Because we're just going in circles our whole life. We make money to spend it, to make it, and make it to spend it. For what purpose? What's the end game? What's our purpose in this life?
6 feet on.
And then a person gets to 65, he wasted his lungs, he has COPD, he has asthma, he developed asthma from vaping all day. I spoke to this guy, he's married. Young kid. The Gemara says, the old school mentality, which is the right mentality, is when a person gets married, that's it. You get married, it's your wife. Hashem gave it to you, live with it. Mitaken it. Fix it. But sometimes the Gemara says, it's a mitzvah to get divorced. Or else why would there be a mitzvah of gitin? There's a whole masechet gitin. So I'm talking to this kid, and he's like, listen, I can't live with this woman anymore. 2 years married. Why? All day verbal abuse, all day cursing, and the words she says out of her mouth. She's a beautiful woman, but I'm disgusted by her. I can't look at her. Yeah. You understand? How am I going to look at this? How could I? And I don't want it. There's no connection. So what do you do? What's your life? What's your life all about? Because I wake up, I'm a manager of a certain store. Stores will open up late, right? So I work there till 12, 1 in the night. I come home, I said, what do you expect to happen? You don't give attention, you're not there. If the Shekhinah doesn't have her Zah, then how is she going to be a Shekhinah? It's going to turn into a Klippa. If the Shekhinah doesn't have the Kedusha that it needs at home, then what happens to the Shekhinah? She goes down into the Klippa. If you're not there, then what do you think gets it? The Samech Mem. Where was Adam HaRishon in the whole story of the Garden of Eden? He was out there. He was in the Leshem Shov HaChlama says he was out in Harei HaChoshech. He decided to take a stroll to fight the Samech Mem. That's what the Leshem Shov HaChlama. He went to give the war to the Samech Mem. I'm going to take the war to him. He went on the offense. You're going to mess with me? Buddy, I was born second day of the creation. You born over here in the 6th. You were just born. I'm older than you. And especially according to the ones who say that every day of creation is millions of years. There's a new book that came out. If you're not scientific or something like that, don't buy the book. It's going to make you crazy. I tried reading it. You need to get there with a cup of coffee, a big one, and a nice it's a tough book. It's called 6 Days of Creation by Alexander Hull. How do you know it?
Crazy book.
You got the book?
Crazy book. Alexander who?
Alexander Hull. I have his book on the missing 100 and something years. There are certain discrepancies in our calendar and in the Goyim's calendar. He basically blasts the Goyim's calendar out of the park with proofs and everything, how the Jewish days of creation. He's in his story. He's not the greatest speaker. I tried listening to him. Some people cannot express him, but he's an amazing writer, historian, geography. He found the real Har Sinai, everything. This man is really the next level over there.
His book just came out.
The new one, the 6 Days of Creation, just came out. And he writes over there, he proves in quantum physics how every day of creation could really have been millions and millions of years. Because think about it, how do we count creation? How do we count an hour? Sun and the moon. If the sun and the moon is only made in the 4th hour of creation, then how did we count the first 4 days? How do you measure the first 4 days? It was day and night. It doesn't say it was 24 hours, it was Kad Shaot. It says it was day and night. What's day and night? It was just light and dark. Light and darkness that didn't come from the sun and the moon. It was a different kind of light and it was the makor of the light. Anyways, wow. It's a phenomenon. I don't want to get into. I don't know it myself. I can't answer something that I don't know. I didn't really delve deep into it. Right? If you're gonna ask me where is the 120 or something years that are missing in creation from the thing, I can answer you that. That book I read. But from beginning to end, this one I didn't finish. It's a really tough book. But the point is that the Satan is so strong. He's older than us. Could be by billions of years, millions of years. Could be, theoretically speaking. So Adam HaRishon goes to fight him in Harei HaChoshech. Where do you think the Satan goes? He says, "You coming to fight me? I'm going to come and get you." Mm-hmm. He goes and finds him in Gan Eden. Who does he find over there? Chava. Persa Nida. He made her into a Nida. He made her sin, and she made Adam sin. I was speaking to somebody the other day. How did she make him sin, says the Ari? She took the Etz Hadar, she squeezed the wine, Yain Mishubach Misheshet Yemei Bereshit. Over there, you don't have to wait for the fermentation. Straight alcohol. She put the alcohol in over there. He drank it, absolute, tequila, whatever you want. He was drunk. And, yalla, they had Cain and Hevel before Shabbat. That was the Avon. So the same thing over here. If a person doesn't give his Shekhinah the attention that she needs, if he doesn't give his Shekhinah the purpose that she's there for, to be with him, Yud Kei, Vav with the Hey, not without the Hey. Vav has to be with the Hey. Then the Hey Chas Shalom turns into what letter? Kuf. What's a letter Kuf? It's a letter Hey, but with a longer leg. What does that longer leg mean? Raglea yordot mavet. She goes down into the Samech Mem, to the Satan. And women don't have the mitzvah of limud Torah. They don't know how to fill that void. You could fill that void. You come to a shiur Torah. Where are they going to go? To a Hafrashat Chala? To a brachot party? Who knows if they even saying brachot levatala over there? I don't know. I don't know the halachot. This is something they have to deal with themselves. Hafrashot chalot, brachot party, this, that, amen. Who knows what's going on? But what do they fill the void with? They don't go to shacharit in the morning. You come to shacharit every morning. Rav Zamir Cohen says a person who comes to shacharit every morning is proven to live longer. It's proven, statistically, there's a correlation with people who come to shul in the morning and live long. Why? You come to shul, You come to shul, you see your buddies.
Moshe
Achok, how are you? Oh, you came. Talit, amen, yesh, man. You have a dopamine release. You're feeling good. Everything is good. Baruch Hashem. You start off the day in the right foot. Okay, the day you work like a dog. Mincha time comes. Mincha again. Shul again. Dopamine release. Day goes on. Aravit. Before you go to sleep, meet your buddies again. Pray in a tzibur. Again, you get that release. You're besimcha. And your life changes. And then middle of the day, Talmud Torah, 2 hours. At least 1 hour in the morning, hour that. Chiyuv. It's a chiyuv, by the way. Chiyuv. I could almost say midiorai, that a person must learn almost 2 hours of Torah a day. He has to have at least 1 shir in halacha, 1 shir in Gemara or Midrash. Etz HaChaim, why not? Add some spice, or at least on Shabbat, some Etz HaChaim, some Dat Tfuna, some Torah Da'aba, some Ariak Monday night, some Ariak Kadosh. Monday night is really Tuesday, Pa'amayim Kitov. Says the Rashash in Rav Shalom, Torah Chacham, Rav Chaim de la Rosa, that Tuesday is the highest day of the week. Pa'amayim Kitov. Tuesday is the highest day of the week. Why? And Tuesday is the biggest zivug. In Nichilat Apayim, Tuesday is the big. You got married on Tuesday, me too. We did it. So it's a strong day. So Monday night is a Yom Chazak. And where does the zivug happen? In Nichilat Apayim, by the way. In Nichilat Apayim, it's the biggest zivug. It's a zivug of Yisrael Le'ah. It's something very big over there. So what's going on, Rabbi, with our generation? What are we doing? We have artificial intelligence. You understand? We have a president. He's a nice guy, but I think he's not supposed to. Something is not working over there so well. You got spy balloons running all over America. You have an earthquake. They fear 20,000 dead over here. You understand? Right in Israel's backyard. Rabbi Victor Miller used to quote the Chafetz Chaim. He used to say, Ach tiri oti tikchi musar. Hashem does everything in this world, so we should get the message. It was supposed to be in our backyard. If there's a war going on in China, if there's a fight going on with Russia and Ukraine, it's for us to see and to get musar from it. Close to 1,700 buildings, they say, fell. In the Israeli news. The American news says one thing. They get it late. The Israeli news is closer to their timeline. So they get it everything quicker over there. Understand? And I said this yesterday in my shiur, what you see going on in Israel right now with the reform in the justice system, I say it's a sign of Mashiach Tzidkeinu. I don't know how close, how far, I could only speculate. Right? But it's a sign, because what do we say before Laminim v'Lamalshinim in the Shemona Israel? Laminim v'Lamalshinim al ti'i tikva. Baruch atah Hashem, shover oivim u'machnia. I say minim, you could say zedim. So shover oivim u'machnia minim, to destroy all the yetzer hara, samech mems, bila mavet lanetzach. What's the condition? What's the bracha before it? Hashiva shofteinu kevarishona. First we have to fix the justice system. I don't want to tell you guys something miza'azeh. I don't know what goes on in America so much. It's because it's 50 states. Every state has its own Supreme Court. In Israel, I'm not going to tell you the whole story, but something miza'azeh. Only the most corrupted judicial system could do such a thing. One Arabi, Bedouin, in Gadara, broke into a certain Mrs. house in front of the kids. What he did over there. And you know how much time these people get? 5 years, 6 years. One guy did an Avera, Aravi, close to Beersheba, with a 5-year-old Jewish girl. How much they gave him? 6 years. 6 years. The Supreme Court in Israel is how corrupt. How could you do such a thing? They're afraid of the Arabs. It has to be fair. He was sick in the head. How you do such a thing? Am Yisrael, it's mamash the tochechot in Parashat Kitavo. Your sons and your daughters are given to a different nation. We have to wake up, Rabbi Yisai. It's our mitzvot and avirot that are changing the thing over here. The goyim want to make us, those rich goyim, the ones that are on the top, the billionaires, they want to make us that we always need them. Today, there's no kind of thing you send in the hospitals or anything, you send with the mail. Everything, electronic. Everything. Birth certificate, online. Passport, online. Everything has to be done online. We're already dependent on the online system. And this is what's making us crazy. We don't know what it means to work anymore. And we have a lot of free time. Back then, a person wanted to eat meat. How did it work? Till he picked a karova, till he bought it, till he got home, till he called a shochet, till he put that thing down, he slaughtered it, and he had to check if it was taref or nevela. Till they had meat, this, that. Of course, la halakha I'm talking about. Today, kol yom shashlik. Kol yom shashlik. Lama lo. Life is good. You want to drink? 7 liquor stores. Today, unfortunately, also you want to do the other thing? Also, a bunch of them in every single place. What do you want? We have a lot of free time. The Gemara, the Mesilat Yesharim says, Hashi'imu mivi'a lidei batala. When you're bored, it brings you to be a batal. Don't think you're going to have free time and you're going to, suddenly you're going to be a Talmid Chacham. It makes you be a batlan. And when you're a batlan, mivi'a lidei avonot. When you're mevatel time, it makes you avera. Don't think your free time is good. There's a reason why Hashem made you a rabochnik. Because if you weren't a worker, you know where you would be right now? On the beach. I don't know if you would be in the base medrash. You understand? And try it once. Take a couple of days off. See what time you're going to wake up. See what time you're going to go to Shacharis. See if you're going to have a shiur Torah in the morning. See if you're going to do it. Work is good for us. And don't think work is bad. Rabbi say work is good. In the avodah, you make birurei nitzotzot that you cannot do anywhere else. But you have to daven to HaKadosh Baruch Hu that should give you the cheshek, the want to learn Torah and to daven b'kavanah. What else do we have in this world? I'm going to tell you something I said. A lot of kaf zechut for our generation. A lot of kaf zechut. We have to give a lot of to ourselves kaf zechut. And I'm not saying this in a make you feel happy way. I sat and I thought about it. I thought about it big time. I've been thinking about this more than months. We must give our generation kaf zechut. We're not a generation of communism, of strictness. We cannot be like that. We must give each other kaf zechut. It's a tough generation. There's so many things that kids have, that adults have, that make us go off the derech. So many things. It's just the Yetzer Hara is at our throat all the time. And we're here learning Torah. We're fighting this thing. It's unbelievable. Give us kaf zechut. You fell. Give yourself kaf zechut. Make yourself feel good. You have to do it. If you don't have emunah, that HaKadosh Baruch Hu could accept you the way you are, then you don't believe in Hashem. It's impossible that you believe in Hashem. He's not Hashem anymore. He's not Hashem. If you believe that Hashem only accepts Jews to Gan Eden, if the Arabs believe that Allah only accepts Muslims to Gan Eden, if the Kritmachs believe that only, I don't want to say that guy's name, accepts the Kritmachs to Gan Eden, that's not Hashem. That's a fake God. That's Elokim Acherim. Hashem accepts every human being to Gan Eden. Amen. If the Goy keeps Sheva Mitzvot B'nei Noach, and the Jew does his job, and he's Am Segula, as this week's parasha says, why not? Come, enjoy. Aval lefum tzara agra. The more you sweat, the more you get. You sweat a little, 7 mitzvot, you get 7 mitzvot Gan Eden. You have 613, which we don't. We only have about 60. The Rambam counts, so you're not going to be up there with Shimon ben Shattach and Moshe Rabbeinu, but you're still going to have a Gan Eden of 60 mitzvot. And don't forget, you have all the lo ta'aseh to fight. Lo taturu, acharei levavchem, v'acharei einechem, asher atem zonim, achareihem. I say that pasuk with kaif. Take the tzitzit, kiss acharei einechem. Why? I'm going to give you a pshat right now. Says Rabbi Ephraim HaKohen. Rabbi Ephraim HaKohen. He was the Zekan HaMekubalim before of Mordechai Sharabi in Yerushalayim. He was the Talmud of Shimon Agassi and the Talmud of the Ben Ish Chai. He, you know that the Rosh Yeshiva al Porat you said just passed away, Rav Shalom Cohen? I don't know if you heard about it. His father, Ephraim HaKohen, he was Zekan HaMekubalim in Porat Yosef. They had a yeshiva over there. I think it was called Ohel Moed. Oz v'Hadar. That was you? Alright, both of you. You said Oz, he said Hadar. It was called Oz Vehadar, and they opened up a Yeshivat Mekubalim in Porat Yosef. It was like a sniff, and Cham Ephraim HaKohen was the Rosh Yeshiva over there. And Cham Ephraim said, it's a simple cheshbon, it's a simple mathematical cheshbon. Either you go outside and you go over 1,000 lotaturus, that was in his time, or either you go outside and you make yourself 1,000 deoraitas of lotaturus. It's a simple mathematical cheshbon. Either you could go outside and get yourself olam haba that the Rishonim couldn't even imagine. Why? They didn't have lotaturu. You have lotaturu. And you can make thousands. What are you going to do? You're going to go to Antarctica? Yeah, you need yeshiva, you need this, you need that, you need to go. The Rebbe's, this, that. Remember, Jews always lived in Rome. And Jews were safest in Rome. When I teach Jewish history, I tell the kids, all the European nations killed, maimed, concentrated, whatever you want, they did. Exiled. England was the first one, by the way. England was the first country, this liberal nation right now, was the first country to exile Jews and the last country to bring them back in. London, those Mishigoyim over there. But Italy, which is the seat of the Roman Catholic Church, was the only place that almost never persecuted the Jews. At least compared to the other Europeans, never. How? It's the seat of it. For some reason, the Klippa wants the Kedusha next to it. It needs to feed from it. It wants it. It needs it. It needs the Limud Torah. So the kasha is... What is the kasha? If I have so much drugs that's allowed today. It used to be 15 years ago, if they would catch a yeshiva kid smoking a cigarette, it would be haram. You know what haram means? They would have to hide behind a tree 4 blocks away from the yeshiva just to get a... Today, in the yeshiva, nobody's looking. Vape. The next, vape. Like this. And history is going so fast. And I'm not talking about all yeshivot is like this. All of them. Don't think this yeshiva, it's all the same thing. Just one does it with a nice clothing, and one does it with a more, different kind of haircut. But everything is the same. Today, if a kid comes in smelling like the other thing, what are you going to do already? What are you going to tell him? It's legal! What do you have to offer him? What are you going to offer him? The pasuk. Well, thanks for stealing the thunder, but I'm gonna mechaded otcha. I'm gonna sharpen it.
Yeah, please.
I'm gonna read you a pasuk, and I want to tell you that everything that Goy offers us, anything that he offers us AI. I heard also they're making something like a simulation, where you put it on you right now in Davos. And you could imagine anything you want, and you're gonna feel like it's happening to you right now. Like some crazy stuff they're coming up with right now in Davos. So you look excited. I don't like your smile. Amen. Ken Yehiratzon. I believe you. Anything that Goy could offer us, the pleasure. I was reading a book. There are 2 averot in the desert Hashem didn't forgive us for. Moshe was very upset. One was the egel, the golden calf. The Gemara in Avodah Zarah says, till today Hashem didn't forgive us for that. In the desert. And the second one, not the spies, but the Gilui Arayot with the Benot Moab and Peor. The Gilui Arayot that they did with the Benot Moab after the Bilam, and he sent those girls and 24,000 died. The Zohar says because of these 2 averot, we actually have to put in your tefillin, you have that hair over there. Yeah. That hair is from the tail of the egel, of the calf, of a bull. They take a hair and they put it. The Zohar says it's to stop the kitrug of the Satan, because the tefillin is such a big mitzvah, that it's kabut tabi, we don't deserve to wear it. After we did the egel and the peor. And because of that Avera, Moshe Rabbeinu had to die outside of Eretz Yisrael. But right by Peor. This is Peor, this is Moshe's kever. Right across. Like they have to always be facing each other. So Moshe was very upset. He didn't even bless the tribe of Shimon. Because they were the culprits over here. They were the ones that were the head from, right? Zimri and everything. Okay, one kasha, but quick.
But what's the name? I heard they said Shem and Worash, and they threw the gold, and that thing became golden calf. God made it. That's what I heard.
God didn't make it. They said Shem Meforash and it came out.
So who's that?
Who's that? Am Yisrael.
No, but Shem and Worash, who?
Doesn't matter. HaKadosh Baruch Hu gives us the ability. It's like saying, I put on the fire on Shabbat. Who gave me the power that when I turned on the gas, that it went on? God gave it, so why should I be there? Why did Hashem allow the gas to be flammable? It's your fault, not mine. It's the same thing, just it's more spiritual. It says by the Chorban Beit HaMikdash, Hashem changed his names over there. He changed it. Why? They were using the Shemot HaMefarsh to defeat the Romans. You know they held off the Romans for almost 2 years? Do you know a city holding off legions? The legions of Pompey, the legions of Julius Severus. These are like it's like an art. Imagine United States versus Panama. It's not even Ukraine. At least is a country over there. They have people living over there. Imagine a small little thing versus a matzah. Come on, it's not even a thing. And they held it off for 2 years. How'd they do it? Shemot HaMeforash. They used to say Shemot HaMeforash. They used to catch the rocks with one hand, and with another Shem Meforash, they used to throw another rock in the other hand. They didn't need catapults. They used to catch with the Mamlo says this. Yes or no? They used to catch with one hand, throw with another hand, until Hashem switched the whole Marachot HaShamayim. Only one other time he did that in the Mabul. In the Mabul. But don't get me off on the tangent. I want to see something amazing from the name of the Chalban. Listen to me closely. The Chalban HaKadosh says that the Benot Moav knew to seduce the Jewish man, they needed more than beauty. Because really, the original beauty of the Jewish people is much stronger than all the Goyim. The original from Abraham, Yitzhak, Yaakov. What did they do? They put hashish inside their food. I promise you the Chalban says this. I read it inside. Yeah, they put hashish inside the food of the Yidden that were eating in their Zivchei Metim. The Benot Moav. Put it inside this is what the Chalban says. Listen, if he didn't say it, then you would have to Chas v'Shalom knock me out over here. He said Chalban was a very big tzaddik nistar. He passed away, I think, Tafshin Ayin Tet, about 4 years ago. His father was a Prachya HaKohen. He was a big tzaddik nistar, Mekubal nistar, friends with Rav Tzion Bracha, Rav Mordechai Sharabi, all the tzaddikim nistarim. And he writes, his son, the Chalban, that the Bnot Moav put the hashish, I don't want to say the cannabis, right? That thing, inside the food of Am Yisrael, and that made them crazy. And you know, when you get crazy, listen, you already fell. Yalla. Huh? And the wine, whatever, and the food, and the hakol. Zivchei Metim, listen. See, Jews are already allowed to drink wine. The Arabs are not allowed to drink wine. You know that. They can't drink alcohol. But they do all the drugs anyways.
They smoke.
They drink too. They just don't say it to anybody. But they're not allowed to. So, but Akol. I had a friend. He used to come to this Bet HaKnesset 10 years ago. He went to rehab, this, that. The first time he did was in Parsons Boulevard down there. That's where he found it. You understand? What's the point of all that? They fast for... Listen, I want to be politically correct. I don't want to get into the whole thing, you know? You know, Rabbi Yossi Mizrahi is getting sued for $1 million shekel right now. Did you guys hear it? By Naftali Bennett, the ex-prime minister of Israel. $1 million shekel he's being sued.
He was talking bad about him?
Because he said that his mom wasn't Jewish.
Is it true?
You're asking me how much was that? Jewish or not Jewish? See you later.
Don't say nothing. He's going to come up to you.
I'm small fry. They're not coming up to me.
You big fry.
So how do you switch the tumah that the world offers us. How do you give him something that's sweeter? Because we need something sweeter. You have to daven for it. We need something sweeter. The Torah says already in Parashat Mishpatim, it says like this. The end of Shovavim is Parashat Mishpatim. The Aliyah Shvi'i says like this beautiful pasuk. Vaya'al Moshe Rabbeinu brings down the Torah. He makes the brit. He spills the blood all over. Ishtabach Shemo, Borei Olam. They all said Na'aseh, Venishma, the magic words. Na'aseh Nun. Nishma Nun. Right? Na'aseh Shin Ayin Nehorim. Nun Shari Bina, Nishma. Nun Shari Bina. Again, Shin Ayin Nehorim. So they brought down the koach of the Arich Pin, of Keter. Listen, these guys were... Lo kam, there was no door like that ever again. No door. Nadav and Avihu are going up with Moshe to the Har and 70 elders. And right now, I'm not going to explain the whole pasuk because he can't. Not this shiur. If I would explain this pasuk, I would have to start the shiur off with this pasuk. Vayir'u et Elohei Yisrael. Kabuta bi, they saw the God of Israel. Kabuta bi, lemashal. V'tachat raglav, and under his feet, k'ma'aseh livnat hasapir. They saw a sapphire brick. This is all a mar'eh nevuah. This is all prophecy. They're all experiencing prophecy. Uke'etzem hashamayim lato'ar, and it was like the essence of heaven and purity. If there isn't a more cryptic pasuk in the whole Torah, it's this one. How many times the Torah says in the Ten Commandments, you didn't see God, you didn't see God, you didn't see God, you didn't see God. And suddenly we have a pasuk that says they saw the God of Israel. But look at the words. Vayir'u et Elohei Yisrael. They didn't say they saw Havaya, they saw Elokim, they saw Ammonai. Vayir'u et Elokei Yisrael. There's a lashon here. Anybody here listens Sha'arei Orah, you know the lashon of the Shemot of Hashem make a difference, a big difference.
But they all didn't make it, Rabbi.
Yes, they didn't make it. And under his feet, what feet? What feet are you talking about over here? Is a sapphire brick. As if Hashem's stepping stool to his throne is a saphir. A sapphire. And the heavens were the heavens of purity. First of all, that's the most cryptic sentence I ever heard of. There's heavens and not, what are they? They were liberals over here. There's greenhouse gases and the ozone layer is being destroyed. What's heavens in purity? There was no smoke going up, except for the smoke of Har Sinai. But it's natural smoke. It's not coals. Huh? And look what it says here. I love this pasuk. Ve'el atzile b'nei Yisrael, against the great men of the children of Israel. Lo shalach yado. God did not stretch out his hand. That means as if they were meant to die at that moment. They peaked in a place that they weren't supposed to peak. And the pasuk continues. Vayehezu et ha-Elohim. They saw God. Vayochlu vayishtu. And they ate and drank. They gazed at God. And the English, I like the trick he does over here. It says, yet they ate and drank. That means when you see God, you don't want to eat and drink. Now, I'm not going to get into the major 4 or 5 questions over here. They saw sapphires, they saw Elokei Yisrael, and they saw the heavens in purity. What's these 2 psukim going on over here? And the Ari HaKadosh, of course, has amazing explanations. What Mar'eh Nevuah they actually saw. It was a vision of prophecy of the 10 sfirot of a certain olam, of the hechalot they saw. I'm not going to get into it. And there's a reason why the pasuk doesn't say Havaya at all. Doesn't even mention Shem Havaya. Because they were very far from seeing Shem Havaya. Or even getting close to Shem Havaya. But it does call them Atzilei B'nai Yisrael. Atzilei from the world of Atzilul. Because Nadav and Avihu were there. And they were Nefesh the Atzilut. And they were from Cain. Says the Shara Likutim. We're not going to get into it today. That the Nadav and Avihu and Yitro were 3 men in that whole camp. They were from Shoresh Cain. And on them stood the whole Kabbalat HaTorah. That's why the parasha of Yitro of Kabbalah is called Yitro, but it says over there they saw Hashem and they were in ecstasy. I'm going to quote you an Orach Chaim HaKadosh. I believe it's Parshat Ki Tavo, but don't quote me on this one. The Orach Chaim says if a person would actually reach the level of the purity and the enjoyment of Torah, he would go crazy on it like he was on every pleasure of the world. The Orach Chaim HaKadosh says this. The only way the Jewish people have succeeded for 3,334 years to get away from all the pleasures of Rome, the pleasures of Babylon, Greece, the pleasures of Persia, Hashmonaim, the Tzedukim, all the Galuyot, was only one way. Vayechezu et ha'Elohim, Matan Torah. Our ancestors, they died for the Torah. They died for the Torah because they understood the ecstasy and the pleasure and the kaif there was by learning Torah. And the reason we don't feel it, because we fill our minds with all the other pleasures of the world, and we cause a shell after a shell after a shell after a shell. But we want it so bad that even with all those shells, we still come to the Shir Torah. Imagine if we would do that without all the pleasures that we're putting as masachim. And that's why the secular Jew and the goy will never understand. How are there Jews that spend their whole life in yeshiva? How much could you learn the same daf for? 7 times you finish Shas, 8 times you're learning the same sugya with the Ritva and the Ran. It's not just an intellectual high. It's a physical one too. It's an enjoyment. They love it. They want it. They don't need to get drunk. They don't need to get high. They don't need the pleasures of the internet. They don't need artificial intelligence. They don't need the outside world. They're happy and they have pleasure. And that's why the pasuk says, and it points out, Vayochlu, Vayishtu. They ate and drank. It was an avera what they did. They died afterwards because of that. But they had a high in serving Hashem. And that's the level that we have to reach. All of us sitting in this room and the people watching and all Klal Yisrael have to reach this level. And we could reach this level and we will reach this level.
Amen.
But we're missing one special ingredient that this generation needs that the other generations didn't have. And this is where I bring in the Ari HaKadosh. All the generations had the Avodat Hashem. It was enough, the Pshat. It was enough. Our generation also needs Sodot HaTorah. Because to fight the Klippa, to fight this Klippa, which they didn't have that. They didn't have all this, everything, I don't want to say all the ta'avot. They didn't have that. We have that. That's why we have to give ourselves kav zechut. But to fight that, we need to take the limud Torah to the next level. We need to delve into the Sodot Torah. And Be'ezrat Hashem Yitbarach, going into our Shul, L'Shem, our Shiurei Torah, and many others, it's coming more and more. We're not the only ones. It's coming more and more, and we need more and more of this. And it's not chas v'shalom, you have to wait till you're 40, 50. If you're going to wait till you're 40, you're done. And the way history passes so fast today, the way the world is spinning so fast, if you're going to wait till you're 40, you're done. Because by the time you're 40, you're in a new generation already. It used to be a generation was 20 years, then it was 10 years, then it was, soon it's going to be a generation is every year. The world is changing. It's changing all the time. And it's because the Kedusha needs to raise up his head, and we are that Kedusha over here. And give yourself the Kav Zechut. Give yourselves the Kav Zechut. Mizot Hashem Yitbarach, will be zochet to learn Torah Lishma, L'Shem Hei, L'Shem Shechina Kedusha. Not al menat lekabel sechar, just because we want to be connected to HaKadosh Baruch Hu all the time. Baruch Adonai Le'olam. Amen ve'amen.